Okay. So today we're going to talk about positional pawn sacrifices. I mean, we've seen one particular kind of positional pawn sacrifice in the last lesson. And I kind of feel like it's something that you do well to work on. I mean, you don't normally feel right when you're down material in your games. I mean, it's normal, but you have a hard time letting go of a pawn or a piece for some compensation. Um, I don't know. It kind of feels like it's something that would add a new dimension to your game. I mean, you won't feel comfortable playing these positions down material immediately. But if you get more familiar with more types of sacrifices, at least the ones that have to be more or less standard to you, well, that increases the scope of your understanding, actually. Um, so I don't know how much experience do you have with letting go of material. I know you don't like it that much. You want to recover
No,
everything immediately.
no, your assessment is 100% correct. However, recently, I have definitely been evolving in this aspect. Um, looking at more Petrosian games where he does not care about material, and continuing to go through Zurich 1953, where they also were not materialistic. They were quite happy to give up a pawn or more. And I've noticed it in my games. I am sometimes, well, first of all, I'm much more willing to sack the exchange now. Like I always look for it, and also giving up a pawn or two, or resisting the urge to capture an enemy pawn and just to play safer. For example, I'm noticing this is definitely. I'm definitely getting much more open to these ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, it is important. I mean, you will come by this a lot. I mean, sometimes refusing to give up material just ends in you missing an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is I've also noticed if I am down a pawn in a game, sometimes even down the exchange, I'm not as down about it as I used to be. Like before, if I'm down a pawn, I'm constantly like, oh, I'm losing. But now I'm like, okay, it's
like
just a
that's it.
yeah. I'm just like, it's just a pawn. It's just a pawn. Like I can still. There's so many end games where you're down a pawn and you can still draw. So I'm not as pessimistic about it anymore.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's how you save games too. um, yeah, I mean the top guides basically consider material just as one more positional factor and nothing else. I mean, of course, it's a very important one. I mean, it's the most permanent I can think of, but still, it might be offset by other considerations. And I don't know, they played so naturally when they were down a pound. It's like if they weren't. Of course, they're familiar with a lot of patterns, a lot of different type of pawn sacrifices. We're going to see one in particular that happens a lot. I don't know if you ever saw this game. You've probably seen part of it, at least. Um, it's still a very deep game. There's a lot going on, so I think it's still to go over it. Polugavski Tal. Don't know if it rings a bell.
Um, I first of all, I'm not a fan of Tall like so many people are. Like so many people are fanboys of him. I'm not at all, but I I may have seen it just like I recently saw a video on Chess Dojo of like the best games ever played. Um,
Well, it
so it may
could
ring
be
a
there.
bell if I see certain positions, but yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, if you're not a fan of Tal, you're gonna be happy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because he's on the wrong end of this brilliancy.
I think you'll agree, right? Like
Um,
tall is the opposite of my style, right?
yeah. Um, but Polowski looks like Tal in this game, actually.
Okay.
uh, you'll never guess who's playing which side. Well, it started off as Arash after c5. And now c takes d. There are two lines, obviously. E takes d, where black is basically going to get an IQP at some point when these 2 pawns get traded. Then there's the solid knight takes d5. It gives a more solid pawn composition, definitely. No isolated pawn. White gets a piece of the center. I mean, he gets most of the center. You can also play this with e3. I mean, the structure is extremely flexible. With e3, you can aspire to get an IQP yourself, and it's playable. But this is by far the main line, I think. C takes D, C takes D. And even though it looks as though black is more or less violating opening principles because he's giving up the center just like that, in truth, actually, black is extremely solid. And he can attack the pawns. He's already exchanged one pair of minor pieces. And how do you think he should follow it up? What is black's best move here?
That's a hard question. Well, I'm looking to just trade more, so I'm looking at either bishop b4 or queen a5. I'm trying to think if there's a difference. Bishop b4 seems to make a little bit more sense because we clear the way to castle. And we also keep some pressure on the d4 pawn. So bishop b4 seems to be the most natural move. After knight d2,
knight? Well, if knight d2, you're dropping this one.
Yeah, I was just saying if there's any tricks for white, but yeah, and then if bishop d2, then we just we could take immediately, or we could play queen a5, and we trade, and then at the end of those trades, we are getting closer to an endgame, and then white has this isolated a pawn.
Well, with bishop b4, at least you get rid of a couple more pieces, which is good for black, as he's a bit more restricted. I don't know much about this endgame. I mean, if queen a5, I don't know if you necessarily get into the endgame with white. Maybe you just play bishop d3 and with against. Well, actually, if black takes, I think you should still play queen takes d2. Knight takes d2 might be possible, but this endgame is not as drawn as it might seem. I mean, the king goes to e3. We still have a nice center. I mean, it's probably enough for black to just exchange of minor pieces. That frees him from spatial problems, and then he can put pressure on these 2 pawns. Maybe in an endgame, it will be a bit harder to put pressure on them. Still not terrible. I mean, the endgame should be fine, but this has proven to be extremely solid for black. Castles here, bishop c4. This has been played like a million times. Now something interesting. In the past, it was believed that knight c6 is the best option. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're putting pressure on d4. It's the most natural square for the knight. But later people started playing knight to d7. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, that doesn't seem weird to me. I'm trying to determine if we want f6 or b6. But it also allows black to potentially put his bishop on the long diagonal, the a8 g2 diagonal, which seems to make a lot of sense because where else is that bishop going to show itself? So maybe knight d7, and then I'm guessing it will go to f6 so that it can play b6, and then bishop b7.
Yeah, it's closer to the king side. I think that's the whole point. You're just one move away from playing knight f6, even if you don't play it right now. I mean, it's much easier to bring the knight to the defense from this than it is to the same with the knight on c6. And there are other problems you solve this way. I mean, against b6, d5 is sometimes quite annoying. The knight has to go to a5. It ends up on the rim. Well, we're going to see that in the game, actually. c6, white castles, b6, same plan, rook a d1, bishop b7, rook fe1. This is actually a nice piece of opening preparation. You love opening preparation. You should love Polugevsky. Yeah, this was actually all prep up until move like 25. Maybe I'm going a bit too far. I don't know if 25, but it was way past move 20. Knight a5. I know it looks odd, but he's actually in the c4 square. Sorry. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
I was just about to mention, today that wouldn't be very good prep, but back then that was pretty good. Like in the, this is about the 60s.
Yeah, it's the. Let me see. We should have the year here. 69. Yeah.
Okay.
Still 60s.
Okay, so Tall was close to his peak at this point.
Yeah, he was still.
Yeah. Well,
still up there.
Next year, next year he got world championship.
Oh no, that was in the. In the 60s.
Yeah.
1960.
Yeah.
This is 1969.
Oh, I thought you said 59. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, no. Tall was quite sick. Tall was quite sick at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, he kept playing very well for many years, but yeah, at this point it was Spassky was the world champion, I think. Yeah, 1969. So, well, knight a5. This is typical in the Grunfeld too. You're going after the c4 square. Makes a lot of sense because the knight really has no other perspective. I mean, d4 is rock solid.
Oh man, I play a very similar, almost the exact setup against a Smith Mora as black.
I saw one game.
Yeah, right. I played this exact same setup.
Video.
Yeah, with the knight on a5, this exact same setup. The rook, the bishop, and the open c file.
The bishop, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah.
Well, white is going back. Rook c8. I think this is the game where this whole concept was developed. There's a very typical way to get a kingside attack going here. Let's see if I don't know if you know the game. Maybe you know.
No, I don't recognize it yet. But for white.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just verbalizing my thoughts out loud. E5 is the first move that comes to mind. After reading Art of Attack, Vukovic often says pawn on E5 often leads to attack. It opens up our bishop as well, but it does other things. So E5 is the first move that comes to mind. I'm just thinking if we had a couple free moves there. Because we've got the rook lift all set up. I'm just wondering if like E5, if we had another move, bishop H7, king H7, knight G5, and king G8. I don't know if that might be a little bit too much, but it would be hard to follow that up. And that's giving us a free move as well. But there are definitely opportunities there. We might have to build it up a little bit slower. And if not E5, I mean, a modern approach might be H4.
True. Yeah.
Other than those two options,
We have a 0E.
yeah. Like all the stupid GMs would just play H4 here, but Queen F4 could be something. Getting the queen, maybe we put the queen on G3 or something. It seems like there's multiple ways to play. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very possible.
Yeah, but I think the most, like E5 is the most. Maybe traditional.
Yeah, I mean,
traditional
you like
way.
to play 5. The only problem is that it has some drawbacks. Not only the pawn is
and
backward.
I guess we open up our.
is a
Yeah. I just was about to say. Yeah. I just saw that.
Well, with that in mind, you're going to find the positional sacrifice that Polodevsky came up with. And you definitely want to play E5, but you don't want the B7 bishop to be such a monster.
So I think you're thinking of D5 here, but let me just think about this. So first of all, if he ignores D5 for whatever reason, well, at the very least, we could probably, well, I was going to say we could probably take on E6, but I don't know if we want to open up the F file like that. I'm just thinking if he ignores it.
Well, it's a thought, but if he ignores it, we're probably going to go back and defend the pawn and have a nice pass pawn. At the very least.
Yeah, I was also just thinking possibly we take on E6 and then knight G5, possibly starting to tie him up that way.
Yeah, not to mention that we can just keep playing active moves on the king side, irrespective of of what black does. If he doesn't take it, you can do more or less the same.
Yeah. Okay. And if he does take it, so if D5 ED, well, this isn't the positional way to play really, but we could take on D5 because he couldn't recapture because then we have the H7 sack.
Yeah, but how does that end? You lost the pawn with bishop takes H7. You're going to recover it.
Yeah, it would just be
Probably
equal.
draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have a slightly better position, but not even. I can't even argue. No, because we're
Maybe not
giving
with
away
that.
two central pawns. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so d5, ed. Well, then if we play e5, we have renewed that attack. I don't know if there's a literal specific attack after that. Probably not, but we do have an attack going. Like, yeah, I don't see a specific follow up after e5.
And you're right. We're still done. We're still not crushing him, but I mean, the sacrifice is of positional nature. I mean, with e5, you kind of split the board on two halves, and you have more pieces on the king side. And it's better than just playing e5. Now this bishop is, well, it's gonna be blocked. If d4, you can always take because of the tricks, and even the knight gets to f5. You might play the knight to d4, and just imagine this. You get the knight to d4, you get rook e3, rook g3, or rook h3. You can push the f and he pounds. The extra pawn for black is barely noticeable because you made his pieces look really bad. It has some connection to the pawn sacrifices that we saw. In our last lesson. Not only you're winning some squares for your pieces, you're also restricting your opponent's pieces with this. In this case, the sacrifice was designed specifically for attacking purposes. And of course, Tal went for the most critical variation. He played knight c4, which, I mean, makes sense. You can't just leave the knight on a5 forever. Queen f4. And now he went all in. He played knight b2. Unfortunately for Tal, that was part of Polyevsky's prep. So tough luck.
Wow, this is
No, this is all. I
this is
mean,
still prep here.
yeah, up until move 20 something, at least 21. I don't know if move 22 was still part of the prep. But yeah, it went really deep. uh, Especially considering that this is year 69. And it's no fun. I mean, if you want to play h6, for example, so that h7 is not a target, queen f5 also makes you play g6, and that's too weak. And you get the queen out of there, e6 is gonna be a threat always because g6 is weak now.
No, and this is not the type of position that Tall is happy with. Like he.
No, now he has to defend
Yeah.
more. Well, play for counter play, but I don't know. He tried knight b2, which loses. I mean, lose is a way of putting it. It's really hard. But the sacrifice on h7 is correct. Bishop takes, king takes, and knight g5 check.
Oh yeah, I think this was in wood.
So
I think this was in woodpecker.
it could be. It could
Yeah.
be because it's a very famous
Yeah.
combination. Though there are so many lines. Oh my god, it's it's a lot. So king g8. First thing we have to check. Hiding behind the pawns. Does it work?
Well, if this is woodpecker, then as I remember it, then yeah, I think we just play rook e3. Although queen, I'm just thinking about queen h4 because queen h4 might just win on the spot
That's
there.
the fourth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most fourth thing. Rook e8, only move. King g8, queen h4, rook e8. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still looking at it. Yeah, I didn't have the best sleep, but okay. Well, I'll just go. What's going on in my head? But yeah, then Queen H7 and King F8, and if we go Queen H8 right away, King E7. I mean, you would think there's some. The problem with that is we kind of lose a move. Hang on, I can figure it out. Hang on.
Queen H7, King F8. And Queen H8 it gives you a strong attack, but there's something even better than Queen H8.
Yeah, I'm looking at E6, but I'm just thinking here. So if E6, Queen G5.
Okay, there you have to see the point of E6. Yeah.
And if EF, and let's say, well, yeah, he probably has to take, otherwise we're going to queen. So King F7.
Remember, the whole point of E6 is that you don't want him to escape to E7. So you're opening up the E file, or else you want to block E7 somehow, because you want Queen H8 to be checkmate. So E6, Queen takes G5, you have a better idea. If E takes F, the king just escapes. King takes F7.
Okay. The heck, man? I'm not from, like, I haven't seen this before.
You give checkmate. That's how strong it is. I mean, after the queen takes G5, you have checkmate.
But we're still looking at the E6, right?
Yeah. From here, it's king G8, queen H4, rook E8, queen H7 check, king F8, E6, and then if queen takes G5, you have checkmate in 2.
What?
Yeah. Believe it or not, there's checkmate in 2 moves.
Oh, wait. The king's on E7, right?
The king is on F8, your pawn is still on E6.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Okay. So let me think. So E7, he can't take with the rook or the queen. So E7, he. Well, yeah. So well, I guess he has to because otherwise, yeah. So okay. It's E7. Yeah. I visually I forgot. I was thinking the king was on E7. I forgot it was still on F8. Okay. Yeah. So E7. Yeah.
So queen H7, king F8, E6. What if F takes E6? That's the other line.
Sorry, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna have to start from the beginning here. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
and then you said f6 or fe.
Fe, Fe, because it's more or less the same. E7, yeah. So F takes E6.
Well, don't we just have a well, rook takes is interesting because if queen g5, then we have queen h8. Oh, I thought that was mate. That's actually not mate. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, we have queen takes g5. That's, yeah.
My visualization's not working today. Okay,
it's complicated though.
No, but no, yeah. Normally wouldn't be too bad for me. Okay, yeah, but yeah, f takes e.
The more normal candidate. What do you think? I mean, you
already. Yeah, well, we can go knight e6.
Well, rook takes c6.
Yeah, rook e6. Oh, and then he takes on d1.
Yeah, your rook is also hanging. That's also a problem.
Okay, I can do this again. Let's see.
Yeah, think about the one that allows you to continue the attack somehow. So f takes c, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm looking at queen h8, check, and yes. If king, well, he can't go to d. He only has one move, so king e7, then queen g7, okay. And then rook f7, queen f7. Yeah, okay.
The rook is on e8. This rook is on e8.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So he's oh, he can slip there. King d6.
Yeah, but he's not going that far. I mean, he plays king d6, and you have a winning move. You just capture a lot of material after that.
Oh God, okay, I got to start over here. Okay. After knight e6, you said rook e6?
Oh yeah, after f takes c, actually we're looking at queen h4 check, queen h8 check, king e7. Queen take.
Oh wait. Oh right. Sorry. Yeah. You're right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Queen h8 and then king. Yeah, okay.
We still have this. The queen is on g7. The king is on d6.
Man, I'm having a terrible time with the visualization. So
you win a big piece there.
Yeah, well, I'm having trouble with the position. Like, so he has a black pawn on e6.
Yeah.
And our knight is still on g5, and our queen is on h7, right?
Yeah. This rook is on e8, defending the pawn, and the king is on d6.
Well, okay, then we have a fork on f7.
There you go.
Knight
yeah,
f7.
It's completely forced. Excellent. So he can't go back and hide. You have this. I think queen h8 and queen takes, I mean, leads to a strong attack, but this is just too strong. You're threatening this, just way too many things. Well, queen takes d5 leads to a pretty checkmate.
Mhm.
e7 is a brocade sacrifice, and then we give checkmate. And if not, if f takes e, yeah, this is kind of tricky because you can take here in a lot of ways, but they all seem to fail. Rook takes, the knight's hanging. If knight takes, rook takes, you run out of pieces to attack, and this rook is hanging too, so but so you go for the typical stuff. After the 7th rank is open, you just take g7 with check, and even though he goes away, you have the fork, and finally you win this. This is quite typical, actually. When I mean, with a Greek gift sacrifice, that the king can't go back
Mm-hmm.
because of queen h4, and the pawn e5 normally stops the knight from coming to f6. So it's usually checkmate. So it's not that strange that the king needs to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It happens.
this is like half of the book of The Art of Attack about the difference
Yeah.
between king g8, king g6. Yeah.
And now the star move of this combination.
Yeah. So h4. Yeah. Okay.
Why is the question? It's hard.
Yeah. But this looks I mean, I don't know if I know this exact game, but this position is very
h4 is
common.
kind of typical.
Yeah.
It introduces some ideas with h5. It holds the knight, so that's good. Actually, we can see what the threat is. What happens?
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go for the most critical one. Yeah.
Well, okay. So knight d1. Well, I'm looking at g4 here. So I'm just wondering if we have time for that. So knight d1, g4. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good move for black here. Maybe rook h8.
maybe.
Oh no, he can't leave that rook.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's checkmate.
Yeah. So what did you say as a candidate move for black?
No, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad because rook c4, queen f5 is giving checkmate on h7.
Yeah, but I'm looking
yeah.
for a move after g4 for black.
After g4, knight takes d1, g4. No, I can only think about queen d7 maybe because
Queen d7.
yeah, I'm just trying to stop, or bishop c8 maybe. Oh no, the rook is still there. We haven't played rook c4, so knight takes d1, g4.
Yeah.
Queen d7, for example, stopping queen f5 mainly.
Okay, so let's see. So then if h5, and king
h6.
King h6. I pick up the queen at the least, right? I got knight f7 that wins. Oh no, it doesn't though because I'm pinned. But still no. But it's okay. Let's see. But
knight f7.
Knight f7. King h7. Yeah. He might be scoring work, but I don't know. G4 has to work though. I think that's not the move because you don't. But it seems like it should work. So G4, Queen D7. G4's got to be good, man. Let's see, Queen D7.
That's better. That's the point. I mean, there's something that just gives checkmate. Remember, forcing moves first. That's the rule when you calculate such forcing lines, especially.
So what? Sorry, what's the rule?
Forcing moves go first.
Okay.
I mean, checks and captures have to be.
Okay. So h5. If he goes King h6, then I win the queen for the knight, and if King h5. A rook left has to be good or not. Oh wait, his knight's but still. Well wait, hang on. No, he hasn't moved his knight yet. So then I could go rook e3. And I don't.
Yeah, again, not the most forcing. He has queen takes g5, for example, and it's not that clear.
Oh right. Okay.
Actually, he can even take the rook because he's played this. Remember.
Well, if we go g4 and if King g6, then we have mate on f5, and if King h4, Well, he would have to go. He would have to go. Oh wait, no, hang on. Yeah, because I'll win the queen. That yeah, and so if king h4.
We almost have him, yeah. Sorry. King h4 with
Knight f3. Knight f3 should be close. Knight f3, king h3, and then queen h2.
not queen h2. He takes.
I know, but I was assuming there's got to be a mate if he takes on g4. There's got to be a mate there. There's just.
But there is another one. I mean,
Okay.
instead of queen h2.
Okay, let me think. So h5, g4, king h4, knight f3, right? King h3.
h3.
My some days the visualization doesn't work.
There's mate in 1 after king h3.
Yeah,
King is already.
mate in 1. How come I can't see a mate in 1, man?
Well, it's not in this position that we have before us, so
Yeah, but I
it
mean,
can happen.
normally this won't be that hard for me. I
Well,
mean,
queen h2, you're going too far. Why h2? Why not somewhere closer? He went all the way back here. He takes. Why not go one step?
Oh, I guess I just have. Yeah, I guess it's queen. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's correct. If he takes, you have checkmate by force. I mean, if he plays here, you just win the queen. But this is just forced checkmate. If king h4, knight f3, king h3, and queen h3, queen g3 checkmate. Other than that, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I wonder how simple it is after knight d6 or after knight e6. I'm just wondering here, like knight e6,
Yeah.
king h7, I guess, and yeah, we take on d8, and I guess how would he do this?
Yeah. After this, we're also picking up this one. So black has a rook and a bishop for the queen, but this
Yeah.
king is dead. That's the main issue, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I just thought, there's
Yeah,
a tiny bit of play for black.
Yeah, he can keep playing for a while, but there are pawns everywhere. The queen attacks everything really easily. You probably need to give another pawn even just to make this bishop work. Otherwise, I don't see how you're going to create counterplay here.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like a blitz game.
Pawn break.
This isn't resignable, right? In a blitz game.
No, I'll keep playing.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that far, really. But of course, blitz is blitz. And yeah, king h6 is actually the best move here because the others are just ending in a quick checkmate. There's check and checkmate. Or even, well, I didn't even ask about this one because there are so many checkmates. You can just send the king for a walk. There was checkmate in 2 also. There are so many ways of giving checkmate. So actually, the threat is h5, so the rook is untouchable for now. Tao, of course, saw it, and he played rook c4. He made things interesting, even more interesting. And actually, it's not the best move even. This is just crazy computer stuff, but after queen e7, queen e7 actually puts up very strong resistance, and the idea is that we're going to play king h6, stepping out of h5 check ideas.
And then no more discovery.
Which sounds absolutely, yeah, it sounds absurd. If we play h5, now we're not losing the queen to a discover check. And we're still down a piece, so it's not entirely clear. I mean, we're down a piece, the rook is under attack, so even if we take here, king h7, queen f5, king g8, and the knight is hanging, this is hanging, turns out not to be entirely easy. So the good move here is rook d4, bringing another piece, leaving the knight, well, leaving the attack. King h6 is still a move here, incredibly, because you're stepping out of this trick. This is just some crazy computer line. Check, king h7, and you sacrifice the knight, and you sacrifice the rook with check. I mean, it's that absurd. The winning path, I don't think we had this analyzed. This is completely absurd stuff. Queen takes e1 with check. We sacked everything, but we're just threatening checkmate. And there's actually nothing
Rook
to do about
g8.
it. Rook g8, g4. That's the last one. Nothing to do against queen h5. I mean, you can sack the rook. After rook takes, the problem is the same. Queen g5 followed by queen h5 or queen g7. Yeah, this is just absurd. I mean, the defense by black is crazy.
Wait, after
stepping on to, yeah.
but after rook g4, and then rook g, oh, sorry, you can't go rook g8. We just take it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now, yeah, exactly. It's absurd. I mean, no one is going to defend putting the king on h6. But it's a good move, actually. You're just stepping out of this trick and you're forcing white to find this. I don't know. And no one in the right mind would play queen e7 either. I mean, rook d4 is such a natural move. Apparently, Polugevsky doesn't play the best move here. He plays h5 check, which is still pretty good for white. But apparently, this cool move was best. I mean, if rook takes, queen takes, you attack the knight, and you keep attacking. If knight c4, there's queen d3 with checkmate to come. And again, queen e7, we have h5. And on king h6, this was apparently crashing. We take the rook, and then we play e6, and we have a rook for 2 pieces, but these are the 2 pieces. They're just terrible pieces. And we're opening up the king. But that's, well, computer stuff. h5 check is still pretty good. I mean, king takes h5 can never be played because of g4. And it's the same thing all over again. Knight f3 and queen g3 checkmate. If king g6, queen f5, still ends in checkmate. So king h6, knight takes f7, king h7, queen f5, king g8, and it's still a mess. I mean, you are down a piece, the rook on d1 is hanging. So e6 is what Polugevsky had in mind. And the point is, knight takes d1 doesn't work. We have e7, which looks pretty strong, but there's still queen e8. E takes f, queen takes f8. And there you have a win. You have a tactical win. Let's see.
Well, I was thinking after knight d1, I was thinking queen g6.
Okay, with this idea?
Well, was h6 idea.
With the idea of h6. Okay, and what about queen f6?
Let's see. If knight h6 doesn't really achieve anything, he can just go to h8, probably. Yeah, queen f6, eh?
Problem is we're also threatening queen takes f2 because remember the knight is on d1. That's an extra there because otherwise we will play e7, which should be pretty strong.
Okay.
But the problem is queen takes f2 is a threat. And if king h2, there's checkmate. Yeah, there are problems.
So, so knight d1, e7 was played, you said?
No, I mean, knight takes d1 loses to e7,
Oh,
but
okay.
there were some things to be worked out, because if knight takes d1 e7, queen e8, we take the rook, queen takes f8, and there you still have to see something, because you're down a piece, and the knight on f7 is under attack, but you win. There's a forced win after that.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at, so knight d1, e7, and then it was queen e8,
Yeah, that's where
and then
the queen with this.
e7, and then it was rook f7.
No, e7, we're attacking the queen.
Yeah.
So queen e8.
Oh,
So we take the rook. Yeah.
yeah, and then queen f8, and that's where we're at. Okay.
Yeah, that's the position. Yeah, the queen is on f8, the knight took on d1. So black has an extra bishop for now. But we have a tactical win there. I mean, we have these two pieces. The e file is open. So there should be something.
Okay, so I'm looking at knight h6. You can't move the king because we'll take the queen. So gh is forced, and then if queen g6, he can't block it with a queen because we'll win it after rook e8. So he would have to play king h8. But then I have rook e8, and there's a pin or a skewer, however you want to say that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a pin. So knight takes d1. I mean, we can argue about that because, yeah, the queen is more powerful.
Yeah,
than the
I know.
king.
It's sometimes, yeah. That's why sometimes I get confused with that when it's the king is part of the equation. But.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the most important piece, but hey, I prefer the queen. It's way stronger. G takes. Yeah, this is tactic, and you have rook e8 here, and even though black has a lot of pieces, you will pick up the bishop too, and that has to be more than enough. I mean, hit this pawn. He can't really push it. I mean, the rook will also be loose.
Yeah, and his knight is
with the queen
very uncoordinated.
Yeah, the knight is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we have a queen, I mean, the safety of the king is paramount. I mean, that's what's determining black is just going to lose this. I mean, so yeah, there's no taking the rook on d1, not yet. So e6 is very strong. Tal tried queen f6, and he actually defended pretty well. And he's still up a piece. It's funny.
But boy,
Tal
would have loved to have been white this game. I mean,
yeah, it looked like
yeah, yeah.
And now he had a choice. I mean, he can save the knight playing this, which is kind of awful. There follows knight d6, and it's still quite complex. There is bishop c6. So after e7, he has to give the rook for 2 pieces, and we still pass pawn there. I mean, it's a really tough choice. Black chose rook c6, which is also it's also interesting. He's going after this pawn. So now we restore material equality, but this pawn is falling. So that's something. So now Tal is just going after a better endgame. I mean, this bishop is bad, and now we're going to see the positional pawn sacrifice actually being important in this endgame. We're going to put a knight here, or at least we're restricting this. And thanks to this, we have a better knight than the bishop. For now, at this point, we are up a pawn, even though this pawn disappears immediately. Rook e takes c6. It's just a better endgame for white. Rook c2. And there's no way of preventing the invasion. That's the problem. These two pieces are huge.
No, I'm still surprised how Tal made it this far. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
he defended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
It was easy to crumble.
Man.
Under pressure. And rook c6, what do you do? What do you think the move should be?
That's a hard one. I was looking at take on c6 and then knight e7, and then after bishop b7, I didn't really see a fantastic continuation. Possibly we could do that and then just march the king to d4. Or first of all, we play g4.
Yeah, he will play bishop d7, kick the knight out, and he's gonna get counterplay.
Yeah, it didn't seem fantastic.
Whose rook is better, his or yours?
I would say ours, because it's seems like his rook is, just playing guard duty here.
Yeah.
And there's this d pawn that's a question still.
So we're not going to exchange under those circumstances. We want to invade on the 7th rank. How?
Oh, okay.
How's that
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that idea. That makes everything very clear. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even consider that. Yeah. So yeah, rook e2 looks quite good. If rook c1, king h2 doesn't really achieve anything for black, and if rook c7. Okay, so if rook c7. I don't want to take with I don't want to trade in the take with the knight because that's basically a transposition, and our knight has barely any squares. We're kind of dominated almost.
Yeah, we don't get to 7th rank. We're going to win a pawn like this. It's just not possible to defend. But it was a good chance. I mean, that's what probably.
Oh, you mean?
Play. I mean.
No, sorry.
Yeah, this was the best. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We win a pawn here, but actually it's quite an interesting choice. I don't know. We still have to win this. I mean, it's still horrible, of course, but bishop c8 loses to rook e7. And here he missed an idea. He missed knight h4 with the idea of knight g6, h6, and h7. And ouch.
Yeah.
So f5 was played. So after knight g6 check, king h8, king g8, sorry. There's no h6. The knight is hanging. But white just took, and black is helpless because this is one threat. That's impossible to stop, actually. And if you move the rook away to a square where you still defend the bishop, then h6. So you can't defend against both h6 and knight e7. So it's completely losing. So yeah, I mean, even though maybe execution wasn't perfect, white was ahead during all the game.
That would have been an exhausting game to play. I mean, there's so much calculation required.
Yeah. Good thing for Pogoevsky, he had most of
half
the
of it
job
was
done at home.
yeah. So you got probably a good time advantage.
Yeah, he had it all worked out up until h4 at least. I don't remember if he had some more analysis. Probably he did. But, I mean, if he had that position on the board, he knew all the things with h5, g4, what worked, what didn't. So it was way easier. And, well, for Tal, it must have been exhausting. Yeah, so the sacrifice there, I mean, it was position upon sacrifice still. I mean, the sacrifice still had some importance in the end game because of how bad the bishop on b7 was during all the game.
Yeah, and black was on the back foot.
Yeah, it was a sacrifice to restrict the opponent's pieces. You notice how important d4 was at many points. I mean, rook d4 was a very important move, not only in the game, but also in some variations. Because, against rook c4, actually, rook d4 was even stronger than the h5 that Pogoevsky played. This other game we put here, this is a rapid game, but it's nothing short of a masterpiece, really. It's the same line, actually, same position. Here, knight c6 was played in Tal's game. Giri played knight d7.
Yeah, Gary's he's maybe definitely one of the top opening knowledgeable players. Like maybe him and Caruana are the top two. I think like Gary's opening knowledge is impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, so he plays the modern variation. In fact, he's played it a lot of times apparently in the past. So, well, a lot of normal moves, rooks to the center, nothing special. The bishop came to b3 in this game. Rook e8. And here Carlsen comes up with the very impressive concept. It's not easy to make a move, really.
What?
Carlsen plays rook e3.
Oh, that's weird, man. I thought you were going to say like h4, g4. So this was...
Will happen.
do you know what tournament this was from?
This was...
Oh, Chessable Masters. So
Chessable, yeah.
Chessable Masters from 3 years ago. Exactly, almost to the day. So this would have been during the middle of COVID, I guess.
Pandemic. Yeah.
And then third round. Okay.
You probably saw this game. I mean...
No. I don't really watch professional chess.
You don't follow them much.
No. I used to, but no, I don't really anymore. The games are kind of too hard to follow, and I don't like watching the broadcasts because they don't stick with one game, and they jump around too much. It's kind of frustrating. And they never cover the openings almost like rarely. Like they kind of they wait until the game is halfway through and then they start looking at it. So no, I'd rather just spend my time playing and learning myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So you're going to see that these guys take a lot of ideas from the past and they kind of re-elaborate. This one was pretty impressive. What is the rook even doing here? Well,
Yeah, that's weird.
Carson is going for the same pawn sacrifice.
Unless he wants to put it in front of his queen on d3.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that we have e1 for the queen, and it's incredible how the e5 pawn is going to be defended indirectly. So we get to play knight d4 because if rook takes e5, we have f3. So white's position starts to make some sense. This is an even more positional approach because we don't have an immediate attack on the king side or whatever. We don't have a bishop takes h7. This is a purely positional pawn sacrifice. I mean, it has to do a lot with the fact that this bishop is quite bad. Our pawn structure is actually better. We might just get these pawns rolling in the center. No, I mean, this one is harder to understand, I think. But it starts to make a lot more sense once we go through some moves. I mean, now e5 is always untouchable. We have f3. Well, Giri played a6 here because he wants to control these annoying jumps, which might happen at some point. And now f3 is perfectly possible, but there you go. There's your move. Yeah, the Alpha Zero thing to do. So what's the point? Well, we even have h4, h5, which is annoying to deal with because we might get black to play some weakening move. And well, one thing is that there are not that many useful things to do for black also. He played the rook cd8, f3, knight c5, h5. Now you see it's pretty simple to get the pieces to the king side because of the pawn sacrifice too. The pawn e helps definitely. What do you think about taking on b3? Is this doing black any favors or not?
That is pretty weird. I'm trying to make sense of it.
What do you think about the pieces now? Who has the better pieces?
So can we just go back a couple moves? Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like, I mean, it seems like black maybe gets some play with his A and B pawns. He might try to create a passer there and do something with that.
Yeah, problem is this knight is an absolute monster, and this bishop is.
I was just about to say that black's bishop is terrible. So I guess if he trades off the knight, then
really hard. I have to look really hard into this position to realize that black is up a pawn. Really, it doesn't look like he is. It's,
yeah. So by trading off that knight, I guess it's pretty much impossible to contest the knight on d4, that blockading knight, since we only have a light squared bishop.
We're gonna get a huge attack on the side without opposition, really. Um,
So
and yeah, this is a huge locating
I don't
range.
know.
Yeah,
I don't know if knight 96 was a thing. I don't know. I don't know what black's supposed
yeah,
to do.
makes more sense. I mean, you need to fight against this monster here on d4. Carson is not going to trade. And he's even heading for this. It's
Oh, this is what.
actually,
So Gary played 96.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He tried to
Okay.
fight against the knight. And now d4. I mean, makes a lot of sense to try to open this bishop at the first chance because it's so bad. Carson just calmly plays rook ev3, and now he basically knows he's getting this pawn back. I mean, the simple plan is just to play knight d6, take the knight, and get rid of the pawn. And again, we have a monster of a knight on d6, and we even get our pawn back. So that's quite a good outcome. So knight c5 was played. Yeah, other than that, this is happening. So I guess we gotta do something like this. Rook takes d4, rook takes d4. Well, finally, I mean, black, this is quite typical. Black should unleash his pieces a little bit. Well, he returns the pawn. He can't even win it back because of the first rank, I mean, of the back rank. Rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. There is checkmate on the back rank. This bishop looks quite threatening also. Knight d6 is coming. Knight takes d3 was played. But the thing is, this knight is way better than this bishop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just incredible play by Carson. Anyone would play it a takes b3 instantly in a rapid game, I think. He played queen g3. And I mean, you might say, okay, it's not that impressive. I'm still threatening this checkmate. But what about g6? A takes b3. Not really hanging. There's a pin there. But now rook d8. And now we're going to see what he was setting up with queen g3. What was the idea behind this? It's white to play and win now. Rook d8 is the last mistake, even though white is in a very good spot because he was going to play knight d6.
Hang on, I've got an idea. I'm just calculating it here. I'm just looking at I'm just looking at queen g4, and if rook d4, this is what I'm looking at.
Why queen g4?
Well, I it's just it's an interesting that we're hitting d8. So I'm thinking.
Oh, sorry, queen g5.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Queen g5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm trying to find a follow up if he takes on d4 because we're close. I mean, we have a knight and a queen and a pawn there. I'm looking for something like I'm just seeing like queen f6 might is that fascinating? Yeah, because queen f6, how did he stop queen g7? Well, I guess he takes the knight. Okay, so if he takes the knight, then we have h 6. But already he can give us a check on d1, and then I guess he can take on e5. Hang on, where's all my pieces here? No, but he can't take on e5. Our queen's on f6. So yeah, so so queen g5, rook d4, queen f6, gf h6. Actually, he might have queen c1.
Yeah, that's strong.
Queen c1, king h2. Then what though?
Queen f4.
No, because then we have queen takes f4.
Oh, but we play g takes f.
Ah,
also.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, okay. Okay, I don't know, but it seems like it should still be good though. Like the queen g5, rook d4. So I went queen f6.
Yeah, I mean, after queen f6, I think the easiest is queen c1 check right now.
Okay.
Before taking. So if king h2, we have queen f4 check, and we take with the queen.
Right. Oh yeah, that is simplest. Yeah. Okay. So okay, well, maybe so it's not queen g5.
Yeah, no, rook takes 4. It kind of makes you take, but then queen c5, and we're slowly losing the initiative, I think. No, the move actually is chaos right now.
Wait. I'm looking at. I gotta look at e6. So
yeah, there's a background problem.
So if he takes the queen, we just take the rook, and then we have the lifeline with knight g3 at the end, so he can't take the queen.
It's checkmate actually. Queen takes g3, rook takes d8, checkmate. The king has nowhere to go.
Oh right. Yeah, okay. Checkmate's better. Yeah. And if
I take it.
if rook d4, then we just win his queen. I'm trying to find moves for black here. If fe. Oh wait, no, sorry, the queen's still hanging. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find a move for black, but it's okay. Maybe a check. Let's try queen c1.
That's the only way to try to bail out of this.
Yeah, and then so we have to go king h2.
And it still looks pretty good.
Yeah, f6 maybe.
Oh, the rook is hanging on the 8.
Right.
The rook.
I mean, we can't take because there's a mate on b8, mate in 2.
It's not mate. I think
No,
there's bishop c8 still.
Isn't that no? But we just take. We just take on c8.
There's a queen on c1, but there's a queen on c1.
Yes. Okay. But okay. Sorry. Let me just reset here. So e6, queen c1, king h2.
Rook takes d4. Yeah, that has to be it.
Yeah, rook d4.
Rook takes d4 was hit with a very unexpected move. I mean, you would expect white to just take back on d4, but that kind of extinguishes the attack right there.
And I'm kind of losing the thread here, but our queen and our knight haven't moved. They're still where they are. Okay, well, let me look at e7. E7.
Ouch! We're promoting. The rook can't stop it.
and our king is safe.
If bishop c6,
Yeah, I was just
the bishop is interfering. Now we have checkmate on the back rank again. Queen b8.
Okay, yeah, because it can't stop on c8 anymore. Yeah, okay. And what else can he do? Queen c8?
Queen c8. Basically the only try. The only available try.
Wait, don't we have a fork there? 97?
The pawn is on e7.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Ugh. Well, sorry, my brain's not working. I'm looking at knight d6, but he might just go rook c6. Right?
Knight d6 is attacking the. Oh, but rook takes d6, queen takes d6, and queen e8. He stops the pawn. Yeah, he's up a bishop.
Okay, you want unexpected.
After queen c8, it's more or less a normal move. You would see it if you had the position in front of you. It's just a move that threatens a lot of stuff.
Oh, I forgot our queen is our pawn is on e7. So knight h6 is looking better because he can't flee to f8. So if knight h6, let's say king g7. Well, that doesn't really. Except we have e5. We have queen e5 there. Oh wait, no. Then he takes on h6.
Well, so instead of playing knight h6, why not start with queen e5?
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So queen e5, if gf, then well we can promote. We can queen. We can go e8 queen.
Exactly. That's the whole point. E5 just threatens a lot of stuff. E8, first of all, and queen g7 checkmate, of course. That's first of all. So yeah, e6 is the move, and black collapses. Only move, give it check. Rook takes d4, and he was hit with e7, which is, oh my god, this was a rapid game. It's unbelievable. So queen c8, queen e5, and there's nothing to do against e8 or queen g7. Giri still tried this, and these players are tricky. Point being, if if knight takes h4, we can stop this pawn now. At least for some moves, I guess.
Okay,
But
so
doesn't just play
yeah,
King G3.
and what? Okay, well, hang on. Bishop C6. Oh, right,
Now
right. Yeah.
we
Well,
still
I
have
don't know
it.
what he does
Yeah.
though, but I don't know what else there is.
No, now he resigned
Yeah.
because
Okay.
he can't deal with more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just a
This
last
was the
ditch
last
effort.
try.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
But there's no way
but yeah,
Carlsen
quite
would take that.
impressive. I mean, I know. I mean, this game was amazing. He went uh, full positional compensation mode, and he got it. I mean, this bishop was terrible. At some point, Geary even got rid of the d5 pawn because he couldn't take it anymore. I mean, this bishop was just too bad. Yeah, you see, this happened in many games. These are just, I mean, the source game is Polugevsky Tal, and then Carlsen even played another game against Kiri on the internet too. I don't think it was over the board, but he employed this idea more than once. It's pretty powerful. I mean, you see that most of these positional sacrifices are to, well, both restrict the opponent's pieces, get some squares or lines for yours, and well, this one in particular is one of the typical ones.
Yeah, that's it.
That you should know.
It's tough though, eh? I mean, this takes a lot of skill and experience to do on a regular basis. I mean, you really have to know what you're doing.
No,
It's
for sure. But if you see the center, sometimes you're going to start wondering, okay, maybe I can get this in. Then you have to work out the specifics. It's not always going to work, but just knowing that it exists, I mean, analyzing positions with it. Then, if you have the situation in your game, you will think about it seriously.
At least be open to the
say,
idea,
oh, no.
right? At least be open to the idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because even if you're not comfortable with it, if you start becoming more aware of it, then eventually you will become more brave and more comfortable with playing it.
Yeah, definitely. You will know the pluses of going for it. So yeah, you will have more elements to choose.
Plus, it's I guess, and then the next step is to start being aware of your opponent being able to do it, right? Before you make your move, like that's the next thing, which is even harder, right? Before you make your move and then realize, oh wait, they could actually try for this pawn sack. That's once you start spotting that, then you're really your knowledge is really increased. Yeah, I think this will take me a number of years to kind of get a lot more used to. I mean, this is not a simple thing to spot, I think.
No, but well, knowing of its existence, it's gonna help. I mean, you're more open to exchange sacrifices already.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
these are hard things to do for everyone. I mean, I think it was Rosen that said that the difference between international masters and grandmasters are positional exchange sacrifices.
That was the fourth book I was thinking of getting on my list by
cool.
by Rose. I forget what's his first name. Not
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from IM to GM, that was the fourth book that was going to be on my list, but I just don't have the time to add that yet.
Too many books already.
And I forget if I asked if you read that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, you mentioned that one, but no.
Oh, you didn't read it. Okay, so you're thinking of.
I read two books by him. Chess for Zebras and
the Seven Deadly Sins.
Seven Deadly. Chess.
Yeah, I heard that the Chess for Zebras is basically kind of an updated version of Seven Deadly Sins. Is right.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, both touch upon kind of philosophical matters in chess, in the nature of chess. I know the nature of the advantage, how we learn, stuff like that.
Yeah. I was thinking about getting that Chess for Zebras on Chessable. They have it on Chessable. So
It's very entertaining. I love the book.
yeah, and they have it with the video as well by Rosen. So hours of video of the same. I was thinking about doing it, but I wanted a few more technical stuff first, and then I'll get into that. But,
Yeah, it's fine. You have a lot.
oh man, I'm good for 10 years. Yeah, I'll probably never even need to buy another chess book. I got so many on my book, on my plate. Yeah. I still haven't even cracked open the ones I bought yet. I'm still going through Zurich. I mean, it's because every single game I'm going through every single game physically with a chess set. It takes a long time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
so I'm doing the book twice because the first read I only look at the games of the openings that I play, and then I'm going to go through it again, looking at all the games of openings
All
I
the
don't
games.
play. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that will pay off. That's good. That's
Yeah, but and I actually I made a thread about this on a chess forum. Most strong players recommend going through these books over the board with a physical board. But what I find happening is because my visualization is not so great, that I find myself often just making the moves of the games, but never going down because I never go down the variations. Because the problem is I have a terrible chess memory in the sense of remembering a specific position. So I can't make moves on the board and then just go back to the position it was at. I know some players are good at that. Like even like when I do postmortems with players from tournaments, a lot of players are able to do that. They can just make moves and then be like, okay, this is where we were. I can't do that. I will.
What if you go to the nearest diagram?
That's a possibility, but Zurich doesn't. I mean, there's not too many. And then even doing that is so slow, though. So I kind of that's what my question was on the forum. I'm like, are we romanticizing the traditional aspect of going through a book with a chessboard? Because isn't a modern approach maybe make more sense? Because if I did the moves like on an analysis board on a digital board, I can easily go through the variations. Yeah. I think that the point of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the point of using a physical board is, first of all, just to be more serious about the study, and to, kind of force you to sit back and kind of think more. But that's kind of the dichotomy that I'm in, is that I find myself often just making the moves and not even really thinking about it because I'm too scared to look deeper. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know if it's true. I mean, that's the general advice. I mean, everyone says that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's actually based on data. I don't think it is. But it's a general opinion. I mean, there might be something to be said for it, in the sense that in serious tournaments you play with a physical board.
Mm-hmm.
So it might make some sense to be familiar with it. I don't know how different it is to actually visualize variations in a digital board or a physical board. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if it's that necessary to do it with a physical board. Really, that's.
Or I'm wondering if I can compromise, like if I can do both, because sometimes very rarely, but I will take my phone in my little study area, and then I will still have the physical board up there, but I will also have I would do it on the phone as well, so that I can go through basically using the phone for variations.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. It's like having two boards. I think Nimzowitsch kind of gave that advice, not with the phone,
Right.
of course,
Yeah.
but with
Yeah,
physical
I
boards.
heard. Yeah, I heard. No, that's right. I've heard that before. That you got two boards. One is for variations, and one is for the main.
Yeah, and you have
Uh
the main game,
yeah.
the actual
So
game.
yeah, so he would be totally for the phone, the digital board.
Yeah,
He'd
should
be all
approve.
yeah. he'd be all for that for
In
sure.
fact, you can use many devices with different lines and the actual game.
Yeah, he'd be all over that. Yeah, maybe somebody like Botvinnik wouldn't. He'd be no. You must
Oh no,
use the
he
chip.
was a purist.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, thanks for the lesson again. We'll stay in touch. I'm still fighting around the 2200 mark, but at least I'm holding steady here. So that's good.
It's stable. Of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you can build up from there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
And Tyler,
Okay.
we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.